Hey, what's up guys, this is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the final Ninja Turtle Donatello from the LingJiHun, I don't know how to pronounce it, batch of Ninja Turtles, and I've already told you guys at this point multiple times, these figures are wonderful despite their flaws. I think they're well worth the regular price. People are telling me they're $200. They're not $200. That's secondhand or some other craziness. They're not $200. I paid $100 for these at Big Bad Toy Store. Then when they got relisted, I think they were like $125. Even then, before they got pulled. So maybe they'll come back. Hopefully they do. But even at $125, better than every Mafex figure ever put together. No, I'm joking, but really good value, despite some shortcomings. And I'll point out the shortcomings. This is still a review. This isn't an unboxing play with me channel. We do reviews here. But yeah, really good figure. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before we look at the figure, I want to show you my package. It's like all the other packages. You got a photo here. Doesn't quite represent his colors accurately. It's not color graded correctly. It's very muted. The other ones I don't think were like that. No, I'm looking at them right now. They look nice. This one's a little bit muted, which is weird. But otherwise, the packaging is basically the same. The weird mishmash of different versions of Ninja Turtle. What's the word? I can't think of the word now for like logos and things. Whatever. And then the back is nice and the side. Okay, yeah. Packaging is packaging. It will package if you need to package. Alright. And he stands just about 17 centimeters. That's going to make him roughly, I don't know, 6 3/4 inches. That should, if memory serves, and I'll have a photo with all of them next to each other at the end, and I have measured each one, that should make him the second tallest. He should be about a quarter inch and maybe a centimeter, half centimeter taller than Michelangelo, who is the shortest. Okay, so anyway, whatever, you'll see at the end. Okay, so here we go. He looks great. Let's do a question of the day. I think I skipped one on the last one, maybe. Which is your favorite Ninja Turtle action figure? And also, or action figure batch, series, whatever you want to say. Like, it could be NECA's movie stuff, whatever. Also, which version of the Ninja Turtles is your favorite? Not figure-wise, source material-wise. For me, I would have to go with live action. I have to. I think the live action is just the way to go. Otherwise, it would be the superhero shaped ones that Super 7 made poorly. The 2003? Something like that. I like those. Alright, let's get into the figure. He looks great. He looks as good as all the other ones. He definitely has slightly different proportions. Closer to Leonardo, though Leonardo's a little bit ganglier, a little bit more muscular, I think. And he's a little bit different. I think Raphael and Michelangelo are the best. I think if I had to pick one in terms of overall looks, I'd go with Mikey. But yeah, they all have unique parts. We found out a couple days ago in the Raphael review. Every single part on each one of these figures is unique. The forward-facing parts, they may share elbow joints or things like that, but like sculpted details are all unique. Does he have? Yeah, he has that. Yeah, he's got a strange cut-up for his abdominal section. You could put his belt high, I guess, if you wanted it to look better. Anyway, everything is unique on these guys, so I love that. They're a little bit shiny here and there. It's not terrible. It's not as bad as it looks on camera in person. So that's fine. But yeah, loads of detail. The sculpt is great. The paints are great. These are as premium looking as you can get short of the finish issue of the shininess. Now, I will say this guy does have the same issue as Leonardo with his cross over the shoulder belt. It doesn't sit the way I want it to ever. It wants to go up on his neck all the time. And I can kind of wedge it over here onto his shell and stretch it and try to get it to sit still, but it just doesn't want to stay. So that's super irritating. Both of these guys, Donnie and Leo, both have annoying shell and strap situations going on. The other issue is I couldn't get his staff in here, so maybe you're going to have to heat that up, and that'll help. But yeah, that's something to consider. But otherwise, yeah, he looks great, and this isn't permanently on him. This is actually an accessory, but I already had it on, so I just left it. And this is removable also. Same thing for Mikey. I don't think I mentioned it for Mikey. But yeah, really great looking figure. I think his head sculpt is a little bit weird. His nose is kind of pushed to the side. Just a little bit. And maybe they did that on purpose to give him like a smirk, but the mouth isn't really sculpted like a smirk. But if you look, his nose is off center just a little bit. But he's got other heads. So anyway, yeah, great looking figure. I'll go 9.5 out of 10 for the aesthetic. He looks fantastic. Now for accessories. I think Leonardo's probably got the worst batch of accessories. He's got the least going on. But then Donatello sort of is right behind him. I think Raph and Mikey have the best. But as far as the heads go, we have some really nice alternate heads. I love the open mouth smile head. And then the or I guess, well, they're both open mouth smiles, aren't they? Whatever, you can see them. They both look great. Doesn't matter which one I like. So really good options there. We have basically the same set of hands again. That's awesome. Bandanas, that's the same. All the other accessories, including the clothing that the other guys have, they all have the same few core accessories, but then they have their unique ones. So Donatello's unique ones, obviously we have his bow staff. Then we have like a souped up bow staff, which is pretty cool. I like that. We have his headband with his goggles and things that does have a hinge on it, so you can lift it up or not. So that's kind of cool. I don't think I would use that, maybe, I don't know, but maybe I would. It's nicely done, and you may need to heat it up to get the mouthpiece, like the microphone part, in place, but you do get that. And then he has this thing, which goes on his back. Alright, so this part of his shell right here, it's not super obvious, but you can tell, it pops off, and then this thing clips in. So we'll just do this, so you guys can see. It tricked me at first because the way it clips in is confusing because it goes over the shell. It doesn't actually fit in, and I was like, how the heck does this go on? Because I always open my figures in the dark because I'm doing it in the middle of the night, and I couldn't tell what was going on, but I figured it out, and you will too. It swivels here. All the hinges are actual hinges, and there are some swivels in there too, and a ball peg at the end. So that's nice. The one thing that is missing is a hinge right here, so you can get it like closer to a shell. This part doesn't hinge at all. So if you want it to be like more compact, you're not going to have that. But it does work. It's nicely ratcheted. It moves around really well. This is like maybe one of the best over-the-shoulder articulated arm things that we've had. Which sounds like, well, how many of those have you had? Like 3? Maybe in everything I've reviewed, but they always break and they're crappy. Usually from NECA or Figma. The things that are standing out to me are NECA's Predators and Figma's Doom Guy. Anyway, it works. So on this option, you have the little, it's like a Mauser head that has slightly openable jaw, which is fine. But that's on a ball peg. You just pull that off. You have some other options. You have one that's a claw. That's pretty cool. You have one that is like, it looks like a camera. So, I don't know. You decide. You have one that looks like some kind of gun, and that has a little blast effect on there, which is pretty nice. It's nicely detailed. Then you have one that is just a tube, and I have to assume that is for holding the staff. But it doesn't go in well, again, and this is hard plastic, so I don't know, you're going to have to mess with that, or just leave it not centered on there, or whatever. But you do have those options, and that's pretty cool. But that's it. And so if you really like this thing, oh, you also get this wrist thing, by the way, that I already mentioned. So if you like this articulated arm thing that goes on his shell, then you're set. That's pretty cool. For me, he's the only one that doesn't have like a swoosh or some kind of effect for his weapon. Leo has the sword tip thingies, Mikey has the flaming nunchucks, Raph has the little pointy things for his size, Donnie has just this little blast effect on the end of his gun, which is like, Donatello's not known for having a gun. He's known for his bow staff. I'd like a swoosh for his bow staff. Maybe in my next run of accessories that I'm selling, I'll sell some swooshes for his bow, some purple swooshes. Would you guys like some swooshes? Let me know. But yeah, so if you like the articulated arm thing, which is done excellently with the interchangeable tops and everything, then you're set. But if you want a swoosh he does not have. But accessory-wise, still 9.5 out of 10. Get rid of the clothes and give us a display stand. And for Donnie, give us a swoosh. But otherwise, yeah, really, really good. Now, let's see about his articulation. I'm guessing it's going to be all the same functionally. It is the same for the shell. You want to pop it off and make sure it's like centered and just leave it on there because there's not a whole lot you can do with it. There's a whole bunch of junk going on inside. Not really a whole bunch. I'll show you in case you didn't see the other reviews. I'm going to regret doing this. Okay, so this thing. What a nightmare it is to deal with this. It slides in that slot. There's no point in doing that. It doesn't really fit on him unless it's somewhere near the middle. Alright, so you're going to basically just be using this hinge to adjust the shell while it's on the figure. And because this isn't round, it doesn't like to rotate. It actually fights you the whole way through, which is super irritating. But that's the way it goes. So you want to kind of just line it up and... Oh god, this is so annoying. Snapping it in always makes it slide instead of go in. It's a very frustrating thing, and I was told, and I'm assuming they weren't lying, that you don't take the shells off to get the clothing on. In which case, I don't know what the point of the shell coming off is, and maybe it's just a byproduct of having a joint in there. Either way, okay, so the shell moves, the head moves around nicely on top of the neck. The necks don't have the greatest range, but it's definitely plenty. I'll mention it again, these guys will tear, be super careful. Either heat up the head, drill out the hole a little bit or use some kind of lubricant to make sure that they don't stick in there when you're pulling or twisting. They will tear. The bandanas will tear. Oh yeah, I don't know if he mentioned it. If I mentioned it, he does come with his bandanas. Shoulders move around a little bit. The shell's definitely in the way. I'd like to have seen them sculpted out just a little bit more to get more shoulder range out of there, because it's even bumping into the arm. But at least the figures look great, so I can let things like that slide. But the joints are all creamy. They're nice. Everything works pretty well. I haven't had a single joint issue, like an actual problem with any of these guys. So that's nice. And then ball hinge wrists, that's good. The torso on this guy works just like all the other ones. For a Ninja Turtle, it's perfectly reasonable. Not the most, but having a shell will do that to you. Try it someday. You'll see. You won't be as flexible if you have a shell. But it's fine. I think it's perfectly reasonable. Same thing for the hips. Out to the side, no problem. And then going forward, definitely limited. And I've had people complaining in every one of the Ninja Turtle figure reviews from this line. They can't kick forward? What the heck? Somebody said, if they can't kick forward, I'm not buying them. It's like, well, okay, but he has a shell on. You want the shell to flex? That's a fair enough argument, but it's also fair enough that I don't want a flexible turtle shell sticking out when I make him kick forward. So if I need him to kick, I can just arrange it so that he's kicking to the side. You know, it's not the best situation for these hips, but I don't know that there's a better one. Having a turtle shell is a problem for articulation. And if you want it to look good, cutting it up isn't a problem. Making it flex or isn't going to work. The flexible shell isn't necessarily a better option. So I'm okay with it being limited. If you're not, that's a valid argument, but I don't think it's fair to actually criticize the figure for it. I think it's just not your cup of tea. But yeah, I can't think of a better design that looks as good as this that would work better. You'd have to cut things up in order for it to work better. Anyway, thigh swivel is there, double jointed knee is there, plenty of range. This is a removable piece too. Mikey's is on the same side. I don't like that. I might pop this one off and switch it over here, even though the buckle that you would probably want facing forward is going to be in the back then. I would still probably swap these just so he doesn't look like Mikey. And then the ankles, again, still limited. They have great range going back. Going forward, not very much. And the ankle rocker is super steep without any swivel in here, which is super irritating. The toe hinge, though, is pretty darn nice, so that's good. So yeah, his articulation is going to get a 7. It's nothing special. It is enough for me and for most people, I'm guessing, because you can still pose them. And they're going to look damn good. They're just not going to have the most posability, given the nature of some of their joints. Okay, so time for the final verdict. I'm trying to get these shorter and shorter. I don't know if I'm doing it. I love this line. This one is as good as all the other ones, except for maybe his swoosh being missing is a big deal for somebody, but it still looks great. His nose is a little crooked. That does bother me, but maybe I'll just swap the heads out. I don't know. He looks good. He looks good. He has good accessories, and he poses well enough. 9.5 out of 10. At the original price point, or even the 125 price point that Big Bad Toyster had him up to, easy purchase. Easy. You look at this or a Marvel Legends, like 5 Marvel Legends, let's say 5. Let's go to $150 just about for Marvel Legends, or this. Every single time, if you like both properties, of course. It's such a good figure, good looking collectible. This looks amazing on the shelf. The best Marvel Legends figure in the best pose that it can hit because it doesn't have a shell doesn't look anywhere near as good as this. So if you are interested in your figures looking nice, this line is one to go for sure. And I'm not even that big of a Ninja Turtles person, but these are wonderful. I love them as a reviewer and a collector. 9.5 out of 10 for this guy and the whole line. I can't wait for the baddies to come out too. All right, I'm done. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.